Jennifer L. Kelly, middle school language arts teacher and author of the Lucia Chronicles. Today's video is about setting. This is part of my series on each of the elements of literature, and my previous video was working on characters. Now, setting is kind of a complex thing, and if you look up elements of setting, you'll find everything from time and place to a list of 12, which the list is actually very thorough, and that's from Writer's Digest website, and so I'll post that link in the comments below or in the description below. But I think that the three most important elements of setting are time, place, and environment. So let's start with time. Time is when is the story occurring, and if you want to be very vague, you can say past, present, or future. Now sometimes if you're maybe writing historical fiction, you have a very clear date as to when the story is occurring. But for most of us, I think that past, present, or future will suffice. Now along with time, you could also put in things like the time of day. Is it morning, afternoon, night? If you're writing a scary story, we all know most of those happen at night. Other things that you can include is time of year, as to whether it's winter, fall, spring, or summer if you live somewhere or if your story takes place somewhere where all the seasons can occur. So that leaves us with place and environment. Now place is kind of an obvious one. Is the story taking place at home, underground, on another planet? It's basically the where is the story occurring, and I think that one is pretty easy to come up with. And the most important thing about where and place is that you want to be sure to establish the scene through sensory writing, which I do have a video in my series about sensory writing, so you may want to check that out. That's appealing to the five senses, the sense of taste, smell, sight, hearing, and feeling. And then the last one is environment, and this is the one that has a lot going on, because environment can be anything from weather, political things going on, historical era, not just the time, but this historical era that's occurring, geography, locale, local customs, and environment can kind of be complicated. So I would just think of it in terms of what is going on around the character that can influence the decisions that they make, and ultimately the decisions that your characters make are the plot and what moves the plot along, and that's where conflict and resolution comes in. So environment is kind of complicated, but basically it's the major players in your story. Is there certain political things going on? Is there a certain climate going on in your story? Weather? What part of the world is your story taking place in? Does it take place in our world? Does it take place in another world or in another galaxy? If you're writing a story set in the South, which Beautiful Creatures does an amazing job of this, is creating that environment of what it would be like to live in the South between dialect as well as the climate of the South. And I'm from Midwest, and northern Midwest, so I really I get a lot of snow, and it kind of seems like we only have two seasons, which would be summer and winter, and then in the summer it's usually pretty humid up here. So that is the three elements that you can use to help establish a strong setting in your story. And just to review, those three elements were time, place, and environment. And if you would like more information on these, readwritethink.org, which is a source I use in my classroom, has those three elements. But if you want to look into the individualized elements that make up environment, then I will provide the Writer's Digest link below, and you can check that out. The readwritethink.org one, if you're going to use this strategy in your classroom, also has a graphic organizer that goes with it. So a little bit in other news, I've been working on my new year, new goals, and one of my new goals was to attend the Writer's Digest conference, but that's kind of a lot going on and very overwhelming for a newbie like myself. So I have found another conference called the Midwest Writers Workshop, and rumor has it that Divergent author Veronica Roth had attended one in the past. And it's in, I believe it's pronounced Muncie, Indiana, which is a little closer to home for me. And they have a literary agent pitch session. They have, writing sessions and publishing sessions, and it just sounds really cool and a little bit smaller scale, so I think it's a better place for me to start. So in 2015, I'm going to be headed to the Midwest writer's workshop, and then in 2016 I think I sent my sights back on the Writer's Digest conference. Have you ever attended a workshop or a conference? If so, let me know what you think. Let me know what ones you've attended and the do's and don'ts of attending workshops and conferences. In the meanwhile, happy reading and happy writing.